went to the dentist this morning and got a teeth cleaning. Not the most fun thing in the world, but you do what you got to do before you hit a hard gym day. Going this morning, almost 9 o'clock, just had a fat breakfast sandwich. It was so good. It was like, I threw some bacon on the pan and I heated up some whole wheat bread and got a few farm fresh eggs going, and man, it was delicious. That's one of the best hacks ever, is that my grandparents will give us eggs that they have a farmer friend who will do eggs and stuff, and so getting fresh eggs served from farm to table, there's nothing like it. The eggs are definitely really good quality, and it's a standout. Even though you think, oh, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, the eggs, they really hit different. I'm telling you, it's a great way to get protein in. But as you can tell, I got a lot of energy going and flowing through me today, so I'm very excited and ready for the gym. I'm happy because today I'm going to be heading out to the movies with some buddies, and we're going to see Superman very, very early. It's a very early screening of it, but I'm excited. I talked about it before a couple days ago, how James Gunn is doing it, and how he did Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff. And I've never been a big DC fan, but I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty hyped for how it's going to be. And yeah, I mean, I had a huge Marvel phase when I was younger, so Marvel is more of my speed when I connected with superheroes and stuff. But the energy and quotes and dialogue in movies, of old Marvel movies at least, hits really, really hard. And so I'm hoping I don't think it's ever going to hit the same. People are always looking at stuff through nostalgia glasses, oh, I wish we had old Avengers levels of hype and quality for everything, or they're looking for this magic bullet of a superhero movie. But I think people need to realize just be content with what is there, what's the new generations of stuff. Nothing's going to hit the same as old Iron Mans, or watching Age of Ultron and Infinity War for the 1000th time. Nothing's going to beat watching the old Dark Knight movies and stuff. But I mean, have a good time being in the moment of the new stuff. Maybe I can even pivot and transition that to the gym and life and self-improvement and stuff like I always talk about. But you have to be content with what's there. You can't rest all your hopes on this old stuff, because you just put yourself in this past mindset, and you can never grow and improve and move forward. I know in middle school that was a huge thing for me. I don't know why it hit so early and I learned the lesson so early, but at night before I would go to bed, when I was going through puberty and facing a lot of personal strain and stress, and had pressure in my relationships, and wasn't confident in myself at all, and I was just sad all the time, I would go to bed just sad. I would go to bed and literally I would try to cry sometimes, and then I couldn't really cry, so it was, in my head it was dry crying. It was no tears were coming out, but I was just so overcome with emotion of wow, back in early elementary school and stuff, there were no worries, there were no concerns about anything. There was just living in the moment. And middle school, I mean, it's funny looking back now that middle school was when I had all these pressures, but middle school, it was, I had new sports and new relationships that were crumbling before me, and stuff wasn't easy. I was facing these hardships for the first time, and it was killing me. It was stabbing me over and over and over with all these realizations, and I was the realization mainly that stuff would not be as easy as it was when I was just a little kid hanging out at home, drinking juice boxes, and just yapping with my mom all the time. I really realized that even though I was still in childhood, at the moment I was just so stuck in the past. It's so stupid looking back now. You're a middle schooler being depressed that his childhood is gone. That's so stupid. And yeah, it's so stupid looking back. But in the moment, it felt real. It felt present, because, there was no escaping that. There was no escaping time. And so realizing time stopped for nobody was hurting me so bad. And I was just always look back at the past, and I'm man, everything sucks now. And my life was just so much better in the past, and I'll never be able to get back to that. And it literally depressed me. But I realized that early, and it's helped me so much now, because I've realized that, like, even during COVID, I realized COVID, it was this bad time. It was like everything had to be locked inside. We had to do school from home and stuff, and everything was just in this bubble. But I realized, like, wow, I'm living through a moment in history. At the time, I was literally like, I'm living in something that'll never be replicated again. And I know in a couple years, I might even, like, miss this. I might even miss the simplicity of having everything at home, and the biggest concern not being all the societal pressures to go out inside and do. We were stuck inside. The societal pressure was, okay, who's hopping on Fortnite tonight? Like, it was literally, like, I knew that I would miss that. And I still do sometimes. And I was right. I will miss those simpler times, but you'll always miss a time before. And you have to realize it's nothing bad. Like, it's not bad to miss things. It means that you had good moments in the past, and you need to cherish those things. You need to, like, tell stories about it. You need to look at it with happiness that it happened, not that, like, oh, I'll never get that time back. Because then, like, you have to realize you're making new good memories in the present, and you have to embrace the present. And I'm really thankful and glad I learned that at an early age. And I hope you guys, regardless of what age you are now, really, really adopt that. Like, going forward in your life, is that don't get so stuck on how good the past was. Make great moments in the present that will become the new past memories. Like, it's time. It's constantly changing. Embrace time. That's the message for the start of today. But the latter half, I'm going to go in, hit a hard lift, and we'll see what happens, what we make of it. Okay, good little back and biceps day today. The routine was pretty straightforward. The only thing I kind of changed is rear delt rows, chest support at the very end. I didn't do it with the bench. I just did it off to the side. You can do rows basically like the same. I used to do free weight rows with the bar, but today I like stood against like this flat like chair and rested my hand on it and then just pulled straight back. So it was like a rear delt row, just not really supported. But it still moved the same. I got the same amount of clean reps with the 75s as I did before. So still working pretty well. Pretty early, so what's the rest of the day look like? I feel like that's what I've been saying on these morning lists, is I've just been like, okay, well, I've started one small thing. What does the rest of the day look like? For me, that means going to Superman, like I said earlier, and I'll be out of town all day, just going on a little side quest. I like it because summer is like it's the summer of side quests. It just gives me that opportunity and that time to just go do kind of whatever I feel like, and there's no like expectations of anything. There's no worries about messing up or doing like, anything wrong, because it's not like I'm going to fail a test if I'm late to something. Actually, this morning I basically overslept for my dentist appointment, but I was able to make it there in time. I was only like a couple minutes late. I don't like that though. Like, I don't like to make a habit of being late. I like being on time to things. But yeah, it's just been a summer of needing that more sleep. It's a weird little byproduct of summer, but that's okay. I know soccer tryouts are soon, and my old coach for high school, I asked him for the schedule because he always invites us out to go help with the tryouts and stuff. So I might be doing that some days, getting back on my soccer kick. I haven't, since I played soccer in high school, I haven't really been back in the spirit of it. I have my soccer bag, I have my cleats and everything sitting in the trunk of my car right now, but I don't know, I just haven't really been on a soccer kick at all. My younger sister, Annabelle, you guys have seen her in the videos, she plays soccer, so that's kind of like I can vicariously live through the spirit of soccer by watching some of her games and different things. But in terms of actual soccer stuff, I know a lot of people sometimes take a sport further after they're done officially playing it. Some people, especially in the college lifestyle, it's interesting that I've chosen this personal journey of weightlifting and content creation as kind of like my thing, because other people, that's the way they pay through school, is doing sports, and sports becomes their whole identity and stuff. And there's a big, they've talked about it a lot in classes and stuff and orientation, how there's a big problem with an identity crisis post sports. How some people especially college athletes and, even professional athletes, they can't craft a personality for themselves, because once their sport is done or they're off season or something, it just eats away at them. It's just this thing that nags at them, and they can't get past it, and they're like, crap, who am I without this sport pushing me forward? Because you spend so much of your time doing it, it kind of, overcomes you. It's the same thing with the gym. There's this concept of a gym bro who's just so terminally in the gym, or terminally online consuming like gym content, that they just become this weird little prism of everything that they consume relating to the gym, and like they have no other hobbies. I remember one time, it was pretty deep ago, I got a comment on a video where it was like, it was on my kind of 100-day series of my cut, and I was going through everything and making all the videos and stuff, and it was just one random vlog. I don't think anything really triggered it, but I was talking about the gym, and I had a car talk that was talking about, training regimens and stuff, because that's what my content is. But some guy commented and said, bro, what is your life without this? He was like, who are you? Do you really just go to the gym and consume protein and talk about lifting 24/7? Do you really have anything else going on in your life? Like, it was a hate comment, obviously. I'll get that out of the way by saying that, stating the obvious. But he was just like, who are you? You're just like a figment, a plant of everything gym related. And the thing is, I feel like most people would be like alarmed by that comment. People would be like, no, like, why is he hating so much? Like, you shouldn't give in to that guy. You shouldn't you shouldn't listen to anything he has to say. And they'd get like irrationally angry. But my understanding of this guy is like, it actually came from a place of honesty. He was concerned because like there is a distinct problem where like, yeah, I make gym content, but that's not the only thing I do. I have like a huge life outside of the gym, and regardless of if like people who consume my content see it or not, I'm happy knowing it's there. But the problem is, some people, they don't even have that. They might not even make like content related to the gym, but they just are so addicted to the gym that there literally is nothing else going on except, gym, work, home, and stuff. And there is a boringness. The having a consistency in a regimented training plan, and being like a person who's, on their grind with work, and on their grind with school, or on their grind with, working out, on their grind with reading and stuff. There is a boringness to it, to where people like are gonna criticize you sometimes, be like, bro, you're nothing except that. There's nothing going on between you. And then there's those crises where you're stuck in that sport and nothing defines you beyond it. But I am very, very blessed. I'm very, very happy to have, I've found weightlifting as a hobby. I've found reading as a hobby. I've continued to play video games after growing up. I have a relationship. I have personal relationships with my family and, different friends and stuff. I'm going to see like a decent bit ways out of my town to go see a big movie premiere a bunch of days early. And it's like exciting things. It doesn't have to be, going out and partying and going out and doing all these things. Things don't have to define you that, are super interesting. You don't have to be traveling to another country every single month to be categorized as like a person that's, interesting or has a life. Like, having a life, or having like, being someone that's like a qualitative person, it's just a difference of opinion. It's like, it's just personal perspective. And so you kind of have to realize, like, let people who criticize you like that, just let it bounce off of you. It's not straightforward like that. It's not, this game of I have to be better than other people. You don't have anyone to impress. You just have to be happy with yourself and realize like, hey, there is an identity for me afterwards, and I don't have to let this one thing consume me. You don't owe anyone anything. At least that's my little perspective. I guess, I don't know. I have a lot of passion kind of flowing through me today, so hopefully that'll make for good conversation later when I'm driving to go see Superman. But that's where my mind's at right now. I'm going to go take a shower. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.